For the first time ever in MLB The Show, it looks like we're getting a brand new Ounce of Position series. In the comment section, I really want to know your thoughts on this. How do you feel? Predictions for the one Team Affinity card we don't know. There's 29 of the 30 revealed already, and I'm curious who y'all think. I'll give my opinions on that as well. Now, my initial thoughts on having an Out of Position series, I think it's fine. I'm excited to use these cards in their new positions. I'm excited to see if they have secondaries. You know, say Byron Buxton, he's a starting pitcher. Is he still going to have hitting attributes? Are these guys that are position players now pitchers? Adam Dunn is a relief pitcher. Are these going to be two-way cards, or are they going to be primarily their new position, pitchers? Are they going to have weaker hitting attributes like a typical pitcher? I'm just really curious to see how they end up doing it. I know one argument against this will probably be, hey, this isn't realistic. Where's the realism? But kind of my counter argument to that is Diamond Dynasty is not really realistic at all. You got guys that played 100 years ago throwing 100 miles an hour, throwing pitches they never threw, things like that. I just feel like, you know, the realism arguments for Diamond Dynasty kind of went out the window a long time ago, but this is the first time, as far as I know, that MLB The Show is ever doing an Out of Position series. I'm really curious to see how y'all feel about it. Your thoughts in the comment section. Any of the Team Affinity cards they've revealed, again, 29 of the 30 they've revealed. How are we feeling? Any ones you're most excited for? Let me know down in that comment section. And also maybe let me know if there's any kind of rhyme or reason for this. If we check out the National League, we can see that Bryce Harper is getting a catcher card. I know that he actually used to play catcher, but I don't know, for example, Elly De La Cruz. Was he ever a starting pitcher at any point in his career? Was Paul Skeens ever a catcher? You know, I don't know. Was Zach Gallen ever a shortstop? Is there realism for all of these cards, or are some of them just reflective maybe of positions they played in their past, but not every single one? I really got no idea. Maybe you could help me out with that. So I want to go ahead and start with the American League. This is going to be chapter 1 of season 3 Team Affinity. We're starting on 95 overalls. If you didn't know, there's only going to be 2 chapters of Team Affinity in season 3. First, we have the 95s. I think about 6 weeks into the season, we get another chapter of Team Affinity in addition to a brand new XP path. So instead of just 1 XP path, we're having 2, but we're only having 2 chapters of Team Affinity instead of 3. But I think I kind of want to try to go through each division. If you see me looking over here, I'm looking at this little list divided by divisions that I have kind of at the end of the video. I want to break it down how many cards per each position, just to kind of get a feel for how y'all feel on the position distribution, but we'll talk about that towards the end of the video. Starting with the American League East, specifically the Orioles, Manny Machado is going to be their Team Affinity Chapter 1 card. Again, all of these are 95s. Each team gets a 95 out of position card. Machado's is going to be a relief pitcher. I'm still really interested to see if the hitters turned pitchers are going to have any hitting attributes at all, or if it's only going to be kind of pitching attributes the way a normal pitcher card would be. Orioles get Machado. Next up, we have the Red Sox. They have Cutter Crawford, now a shortstop. I'm real interested to see the attributes for all of these cards. Staying in the East, we're going to the Yankees. Mariano Rivera is going to be a center fielder here for the Out of Position series. Now we look for the Tampa Bay Rays. We got Shane McClanahan. He's turned into a first baseman in this Out of Position series. And the 5th and final card for the American League East, one of my favorite pitchers the last few years, Roy Halladay, is now a second baseman for Chapter 1 of Team Affinity. I'm real interested to see what these cards are looking like, how they play, the attributes on these, but that's going to be the AL East. Now for the American League Central, starting with the White Sox. Adam Dunn is going to be a relief pitcher. Real interested to see how that goes for him. Real interested to see if he has any hitting attributes, any power at all. And for the Guardians, they have Cy Young. He's now a first baseman. If Cy Young was so good at pitching, how come he never won a Cy Young award? Staying in the East, moving to the Tigers, Riley Green is getting an Out of Position, a relief pitcher card for this chapter of Team Affinity. Then we move to the Royals. Zach Greinke going to be a shortstop. Now, he already had some pretty good hitting attributes on some of his diamond cards in previous years, so I'm real interested to see what this shortstop Zach Greinke's looking like. And I'm kind of thinking like these are going to be 95s. Part of me would have wished that they waited until 99s to do this. Some Out of Position 99s could have potentially been really good, or really fun to use. But that final card in the American League Central is going to be from the Twins. Byron Buxton is going to be getting a starting pitcher card to finish off the AL Central. Now, the last division in the American League, this is where we're missing a card, we're missing a team, but we're starting with the ones we have, specifically the Astros. Nolan Ryan gonna be a center fielder for the out of position series. I'm guessing his arm is gonna be pretty good out there in center field. The Athletics have Mark McGwire as a relief pitcher, and still I'm wondering, are any of these position cards, the position players turned pitchers I should say, are they going to have any type of hitting attributes at all? It seems like we're having a lot of relief pitchers for the pitchers, some of our most relief pitchers I feel like we've ever seen in a Team Affinity, especially this year. The Mariners have Randy Johnson as a left fielder. That's going to be interesting. That's one of the ones I think I'm more excited to see, to use, but to see what the attributes are looking like. And the final team that we know in the American League West, Jonah Heim from the Rangers is going to be getting a third baseman card. I'm assuming he's still going to be a switch hitter. I don't see why he wouldn't be, but his out of position card will be a third baseman. And the one team that we don't know is the Angels. And I don't know about y'all, but to me, I'm kind of guessing it's going to be Mike Trout. And I'm sitting here thinking, we already saw Bryce Harper was a catcher. I'm kind of thinking that Mike Trout is going to be the Angels out of position card, and it's either going to be a catcher Mike Trout or a pitcher Mike Trout. Now, I don't know which one I would prefer. I think a pitcher one would be cool, but I would also want it to be more of a two-way player. And I don't really know what positions Mike Trout played in his past, played in high school, everything like that. But if you have any guesses on who you think the Angels Team Affinity card is going to be for this out of position series, and specifically what position you think they're going to be playing, please, please, please let me know your thoughts or predictions down in that comment section. I'm really thinking in my head that it's going to be some type of Mike Trout. I just don't know what position they would actually do. Now for the National League Team Affinity Chapter 1 here for Season 3, we're going to go through all these teams, trying to go by division, starting with the American League East, specifically the Braves. I just got to find where they are. There they are. There's Austin Riley for the Braves. He's turned into a starting pitcher for the out of position series. I'm a broken record at this point. I know I keep repeating myself, but I really want to see the attributes for some of these cards. I'm hoping we get some revealed, maybe even already by the time this video goes up. It'd be pretty nice to see. Now, staying in the East, going to the Marlins. Dontrell Willis is going to be getting a designated hitter card, and if I'm not mistaken, in real life, he was actually a pretty good hitter. So if his primary position is a DH, I got to think that the attributes on this card are going to be nasty. I'm kind of thinking like minimum 100 for both contacts and both powers for Dontrell Willis for the Marlins. Now, also in the East, we have the Mets, probably one of the cards I'm most excited for. Another pitcher who we know was a pretty good hitter. His diamond cards, I think his 99s, that Cy Young card, always had some good hitting attributes. I'm guessing that the shortstop, Jacob deGrom, is going to be a pretty good hitter. I can't wait to get my hands on this card, see what he's looking like. For the Phillies, we have Aaron Nola. He's going to be getting a shortstop card for this out of position series. And another card that I'm probably most excited for, seeing these revealed for Chapter 1 of Team Affinity in Season 3, is going to be the Nationals. They get a catcher version of Bryce Harper. I know back in the day, Harper used to play catcher, and I'm real interested to see how this version of Bryce Harper plays, what the attributes are looking like, how the fielding, blocking, all that kind of stuff is. And that's going to finish off the National League East. Now for the Central, probably the best division in baseball, starting with the Cubs, we have Jake Arrieta. He was another pitcher who I think was actually a pretty decent hitter. He's getting a designated hitter card for the Cubs. I imagine these primary DH cards are probably going to be pretty good hitters since they're designated to hit, but Jake Arrieta is going to be that Team Affinity Chapter 1 card for the Cubs. The Reds get Elly De La Cruz, and I'm assuming he's still going to be a switch hitter as a starting pitcher for this out of position series. But again, I'm wondering, are they going to have any hitting attributes if they're a position player turned pitcher, or is the focus really going to be only on those pitching attributes? Real curious to see what Ellie's looking like. He's going to be a pretty tall pitcher on the mound, going to probably kind of remind me of maybe like a right-handed Randy Johnson a little bit, but Elly De La Cruz is going to be the Reds Team Affinity card for this out of position series. Now for the Brewers, another guy I'm super excited about is CC Sabathia. He's getting a designated hitter card as well. I really want to use this card. I want to see what he's looking like. I loved watching CC Sabathia growing up as a kid, and I'm super happy to have him back in the show. I'm excited to see what his 95 is looking like for this chapter of Team Affinity. The Pirates get a catcher, Paul Skeens. Real interested to see what he's looking like. I don't know what type of hitter he was in college. I would have to look it up. I know he was obviously a pretty good pitcher. He's obviously a pretty good pitcher right now in the MLB, but I'm real interested to see what the catcher version of Paul Skeens is looking like. And then finally, the best team in baseball, my favorite team, no bias at all, St. Louis Cardinals get Mason Wynn. He's going to have a starting pitcher card right here, and I'm guessing he's going to have maxed out velo. I'm guessing he's going to have outlier on this starting pitcher card for Chapter 1 of Season 3's Team Affinity. And the final division we have to go over is going to be the NL West. Let's start with the Diamondbacks. They have Zach Gallen. Man, I wish the Cardinals had a pitcher like Zach Gallen, but he's going to be getting a shortstop card, not a pitcher card. This is the Out of Position series. Zach Gallen's going to be a shortstop in Chapter 1 of Season 3's Team Affinity. For the Rockies, they get Charlie Blackmon, Chuck Nasty. He's going to be a relief pitcher. He's always been kind of known as having a noodle arm in MLB The Show Diamond Dynasty, so I'm really interested to see what the relief pitcher version of Charlie Blackmon is going to look like. Is he going to be one of those guys with maybe lower velo but higher break, higher control, or are they going to fix his noodle arm? Are they going to give him some gas for Chapter 1, Season 3 of Team Affinity? We'll have to wait and see, I guess. The Dodgers get Kenley Jansen. He's going to be a catcher. And this, I don't want to say underrated because we don't know any of these cards. They're all 95 overalls. We haven't seen any attributes, at least at the time of recording this. But keep in mind that Kenley Jansen is a switch hitter. So having a switch hitting catcher here in Team Affinity starting the season with some 95s, this could be a sneaky good first pick potentially from the NL West, depending on what the attributes are looking like. Next up, right next to him, we have the Padres. Jake Cronenworth is going to be getting a relief pitcher card. And then last but not least, Willie Mays is going to be a third baseman in this Out of Position series for the first chapter of Team Affinity here in Season 3. And that is your National League Team Affinity cards. Now, I wanted to go over the position distribution a little bit. We've got 4 starting pitchers, 6 relievers, 3 designated hitters, 3 catchers, 2 first basemen, only 1 second baseman, 2 third basemen, 5 shortstops, 1 left fielder, 2 center fielders, and then no right fielders. So I feel like the position distribution is decent. I kind of want to say it could be better. 3 outfielders, 13 infielders, 3 designated hitters, and then 10 pitchers, plus that Angels card that we don't know yet. So it's kind of seeming to me so far like we have a lot more pitchers than usual, but specifically relief pitchers than usual when it comes to Team Affinity, and it seems like we have quite a few less outfielders than usual, and I just don't know exactly how to feel about that, but I'm glad we at least have, a few representations for pretty much every position, except we do have 0 right fielders, and I'm kind of guessing that the Angels card is not going to be a right fielder, but I guess we'll have to wait and see who it is. Curious to see who y'all think it is. I feel like my prediction is going to be Mike Trout. In the comments section, let me know which of these cards you're most excited for, both from the American League and the National League. I would say for me, looking at the American League, probably most excited for maybe Randy Johnson. I think he would be my #1 choice right here. I'm also excited for the shortstop, Zach Greinke. I think both of those are going to be pretty fun to use. And I'm also excited in the National League for Bryce Harper, a catcher. Mason Wynn as a pitcher could be fun. I think Ellie De La Cruz would be fun. But I'm also real excited for CC Sabathia. But I think if I had to choose a #1, just looking at the National League, it might be Bryce Harper. But man, I can't tell y'all how excited I am for a CC Sabathia card too. As always, if you enjoy the videos, feel free to let me know by dropping a like. Feel free to subscribe if you enjoy them. We daily upload on the channel. Been doing it since June 1st, 2017. Where does the time go? I hate that it goes fast, but I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thank you as always for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in tomorrow's daily upload.